Action. All right, we're here today to discuss our case with former mayor of Morgantown, Ron Justice. So, Mayor Ron, what are some special issues that arise in contract bargaining in the public sector versus the private sector?
Well, with the public sector, especially with television, cable, you have to follow federal law. So that will set precedent over everything. FCC guidelines will be considered, and then you can't do anything outside the bounds of the law.
Okay, what are some ways to get the public involved and to obtain public opinion about the issues?
Well, I think assessment is a good way to do it. Do some public assessment, do surveys, do other ways that you could get town meetings would be a good way. See what the public would want, see what the problem would be. Some issues could be as simple as reception's not good. Other issues could be that people are made to pay for a higher tier that they don't want, which is a real big issue. So a town meeting would be good, and then probably some surveys. And I think it would be good for you to do it, the city to do it, not the cable company. They could do their own.
Right. Okay. Have you had any past experiences with negotiating cable service contracts? What is specifically different with the cable service than other public service contracts?
Well, I've been a part of two negotiations, and the problem is, or the frustrating thing is, that you're bound by so many things that you want to do, but a law will prohibit it. Really, and this is my opinion, that many of the laws are written to protect the cable company, and it frustrates you. You want to be able to say, well, you can have this channel or you can't have this channel, or and I think probably somewhat prudently, I'm a little biased, but probably said we can't let a city council or a local official, just dictate to us what we're going to do, and that's probably the way it was. But there's very little parameter or wiggle room in negotiation. To be quite
So
frank
it's
about
just so a lot of it is predetermined by what the law is,
Yeah.
and you just kind of follow the law. And
Yeah,
there's
follow
very
the
little
law.
to work with.
And some of it is good faith. Where we found that we had a big bargaining chip was the length of the contract. So,
Okay. This is kind of a broad question. Do you see more win-lose negotiations or more win-win negotiations in public sector bargaining? And
I think it's more win-lose, but you try to do your best, and that's and I think the one that we just negotiated recently was a win-win. So it can be a win-win, but it makes it difficult. It's much easier negotiating in the private sector versus with public law involved.
okay. Who has more bargaining power in this case, such as the city council or the cable company?
Cable company.
Just is it mainly because the law is protected by
They're
so much?
protected, and rightfully so. I think in a lot of cases, it doesn't make sense that maybe the company would be in Fairmont and Morgantown. Well, you could have totally different tiers and things, that doesn't make sense. So some of those protections are built in. Now, where the public is protected would be on rate issues, which is very good. That's the big thing, that you can only get a certain rates.
Right, because it is kind of an exclusive agreement in a way, and when one cable company comes in, it's really, like in this area, Comcast is really, I mean, you got a couple of dish networks and satellite, but Comcast is primarily your basic cable
Yeah, I mean,
service.
it's an open negotiation with other companies, but who's going to make that major investment when they're not the franchisee? That's the issue. So in reality, no one else is going to come in on someone else's.
So the rate is it's really important that the rate is by
set
law,
by law,
set,
right?
so they can't
Because they can jack it up.
monopolize you kind of in a way. Have you ever encountered unethical behavior in the public sector bargaining?
No, not really. I mean, the biggest thing that we deal with is the bottom line. Can they do it within the bottom line? And that's a frustrating thing. But one of the big wins that we think we got in our contract was the fact that some people on a fixed income, or maybe just others, they don't want 60 channels. So we got a lower tier put in for like $13, and it's only 12 or 13 channels, but it's the local channels. So that's a big win.
Right. how people can afford it.
Yeah, the second was in public television with government access. They made a huge investment by buying camera equipment, um, setting us up to be able to broadcast live. All that investment was about $100,000. So that was big for us. And the way we got that is instead of doing 5 years, we did 15. We basically, yeah. So what we did is we gave up, the ability to come back quickly if we didn't like what we were getting in return for something we thought was a public good, which it has been.
It's turned out well.
It's turned out very well.
Yeah. And if you could have advice to a bargaining team before they're going into a negotiation with a cable company, what would you tell them?
As well as you can, first of all, get a good attorney. Because obviously there's no mayor or city council member who's going to know all the laws and how to apply them. So you need some good advice there. Secondly, understand you have to operate within the bounds of the law. And then third, try to look at what you both agree on. If public access is very important, then go down that road. If rates are very important, go down that road. I can remember our first go around, the quality was a big issue.
All right, Ron, that's it. Thank you for taking the time out to answer some questions.